You are officially 7 degrees north. Thanks for stopping by. Please share, like, comment, and consider subscribing, please. We'd greatly appreciate it. All the links for the information posted will be in the description panel. UCHealth denies kidney transplant to unvaccinated woman and donor. A Colorado woman with stage 5 renal failure was months away from getting a new kidney. Now she and her donor are looking for another hospital after learning UC Health's new policy. According to UC Health, the majority of transplant recipients and living donors are now required to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Neither woman has received their shots. Leilani Lutali met her donor, Jamie Faulkner, in Bible study just 10 months ago. It's your choice on what treatment you have. In Leilani's case, the choice has been taken from her. Her life has now been held hostage because of this mandate, said Faulkner. Faulkner says she hasn't received the vaccine for religious reasons. Lutali hasn't gotten the shot because she says there are too many unknowns. Until last week, neither woman thought they needed to be vaccinated for the transplant. At the end of August, they were confirmed that there was no COVID shot needed. At that time, said Lutali, fast forward to September, that's when I found out. Jamie learned they have this policy around the COVID shot for both the donor and the recipient. The woman received this letter from UC Health. Dear Leilani, the transplant team at University of Colorado Hospital has determined that it is necessary to place you inactive on the waiting list. You will be inactivated on the list for non-compliance by not receiving the COVID vaccine. You will have 30 days to begin the vaccination series. If your decision is to refuse COVID vaccination, you will be removed from the kidney transplant list. You will continue to accrue waiting time, but you will not receive a kidney offer while listed inactive. Once you complete the COVID vaccination series, you will be reactivated on the kidney transplant list pending any other changes in your health condition. And they left their information for further questions or concerns. UC Health says they're non-compliant by not receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. The hospital has given them 30 days to begin the vaccine series. If they refuse, they will be removed from the kidney transplant list. I said I'll sign a medical waiver. I have to sign a medical waiver for the transplant itself, releasing them from anything that could possibly go wrong, said Lutali. It's surgery. It's invasive. I sign a waiver for my life. I'm not sure why I can't sign a waiver for the COVID shot. UC Health recently implemented the policy to protect the health of its patients. In a statement, UC Health said, for transplant patients who contract COVID-19, the mortality rate ranges from about 20% to more than 30%. This shows the extreme risk that COVID-19 poses to transplant recipients after their surgeries. UC Health and transplant centers across the nation have requirements in place to protect surgical patients. For example, patients can be required to receive other vaccinations like hepatitis B and MMR and even make lifestyle changes. UC Health says their requirements increase the likelihood that a transplant will be successful and the patient will avoid rejection. Here I am, willing to be a direct donor to her. It does not affect any other patient on the transplant list, said Faulkner. How can I sit here and allow them to murder my friend when I've got a perfectly good transplant kidney for a transplant that can save her? The women haven't been able to find a hospital in Colorado that will do the transplant while they're unvaccinated. They're now looking in other states. Meanwhile, we are going to be covering the case of the World Health Organization. The Indian Bar Association sues WHO scientists over ivermectin. This is a trial that we're considering covering. We'd love for you to give us feedback as to if it would be something you'd be interested in hearing. Meanwhile, you can look into this as we have the information in the description bar so that you can get some feedback on it and get the overview of what this case is going to entail. Otherwise, we have some other cases in mind that we would like to get feedback as to whether or not you'd like for us to cover regarding any formal trial cases that might be interesting that you'd love for us to cover. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe.